4.5, 5 months, and we've essentially accomplished nothing in that period of time. And this bill is another example of that. You know, you want to talk about targeting kids. There's 63,000 approximately 4-year-olds in this state. 26,000, 42% of them, 26,000 are on free and reduced lunch. And the proposal you're putting forward covers maybe 7,000 of them. What universal pre-K would do would cover all of them. So if you want Representative Kresha actually address those kids that you think need to be targeted, the kids that are poor, that are on free and reduced lunch, you're not doing it. Universal pre-K would. And to top it all off, what you have in this bill is a $30 million tax increase, but not a tax increase that's actually paying for anything in this bill. That $30 million that you're raising in taxes is not going to pay for education programs. Notwithstanding what Representative Dean said, he knows the truth is that $26 million of that went to cover the back end of his budget. And the other amount, just probably 2 hours ago, was spent to raise the target in the state government bill so you could fund state agencies a little bit more. That's what that $30 million tax increase in the education bill is going for. It's not going for education. It's going for health and human services and funding state agencies. So this is the bill that you have brought to the floor. A bill that does less than we were able to do when we had a state budget deficit, a bill that does less for the early childhood scholarships, a bill that does less, I believe, than we did on the formula in the last 2 years. And on top of that, well, it does exactly the same as we did in the formula for the last 2 years. But we also invested in all-day kindergarten, which 99.6% of families in this state are taking. You say universal pre-K is going to be unpopular. You said the same thing about all-day kindergarten, didn't you? In fact, you probably said the same thing about kindergarten, although it was probably your parents, the Republicans of your parents' generation, who said that. But all-day kindergarten, you said that is not where we want to go, and it's not good for our school districts, but yet 99.6% of the families in this state with kindergartners are enrolled in an all-day kindergarten program. That is a success. That is an accomplishment. $50 million into the early learning scholarships, going from $6 million to $50 million. That is an accomplishment, and you're doing $30 million. So, members, this bill is emblematic of this session, which is basically a bill that maybe gets to the status quo, but it's going to result in layoffs. It's going to result in larger class sizes. It's not going to accomplish what Minnesotans would expect with a $2 billion surplus. Like this session, this bill for education is a huge waste of